Yes, guys, if you do want to get anything from the Chelsea online megastore, make sure you use the discount code GBFC10. You can get there by clicking the QR code on the screen, and there is also a link in the description of every single video that I post. GBFC10 is the code. Let's crack in to today's video. Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. I hope all of you guys are doing well. I hope you've had a good weekend. Happy that the football is back. I know that it wasn't an ideal Saturday night from a Chelsea perspective. Obviously, you guys have probably seen the 6 things we learned video at full time. I wasn't feeling all that bad about it, to be honest. I felt as though we could look at the facts. We could look at the sense of conceding a goal in the 94th minute when realistically, yes, it might have been offside. I want to talk about that a little bit at the start of the video, but Chelsea should have done better. So there's multiple different angles that we can approach this with. I didn't want to talk about it too much yesterday because I wanted to see what the general footballing response was to the moment that saw Brentford equalise. And not to my surprise whatsoever, there isn't the same level of scrutiny that comes with a decision that goes against Chelsea than there is with a decision that goes for Chelsea. And as Chelsea fans, right, some people might just be like, oh, you're just putting more air on it, you're fueling the fire and all of that stuff. I think it's very important as Chelsea fans that we call these things out, okay? Because all we heard for 2 weeks during the international break is that Josh King, a young lad from Fulham, a teenager, has gone away to Chelsea Football Club and scored a blinding goal, which he did, but because it was disallowed and the on-field decision and VAR, they couldn't come to the conclusion that the goal maybe should have stood. You can argue it's a foul all day long. I also argued at the time that it maybe wasn't a foul. The point remains that in the media, post-Chelsea beating Fulham 2-0, all we heard about is how Chelsea got away with it, the VAR favoured Chelsea, and the Fulham teenager didn't get his moment in the headlines. So it was headline writing in the name of saying, oh, well, look, Chelsea are being favoured here, and poor old Fulham, poor old Josh King. And I can understand all of that, right? From a perspective of looking at it as a Fulham fan, you can look at that goal and be like, blimey, well, if that goal would have stood, that could have changed the entire trajectory of the match. Chelsea might not have won. Fulham might have got a result at Stamford Bridge for the 2nd season in a row. But what we're talking about here, refereeing decisions, forget the clubs involved. We're talking about referees who have now video assistants in vans who are trying to help them to execute the correct call on the pitch. These guys still don't know what they're doing. There are rules in place that are the referees really aware of what each of those rules are minute by minute on a football pitch? And even the people that they are using to refer to for second pair of eyes, third pair of eyes, fourth pair of eyes, is everyone actually aligned with what we are calling up on the field, right? What is the rule here? My team are playing Bayern Munich on Wednesday night and we go to Old Trafford at the weekend. Football is an ever-revolving door, okay? But let's take a little look at this here because the throw-in comes in. First thing, you can't be offside from a throw-in. I know that, you know that. But you can be offside from a flick on. So let's take a little look here. Let's magnify this moment. First of all, how have Chelsea players, with 4 players marking Christopher Aguerd, how have we not somehow managed to win the ball in this area here? How has he got his head to that? I don't know. But the point is, when Christopher Aguerd heads this ball on, can you tell me that Outcry, who is right here, you cannot tell me that he is not influencing Reece James's ability to go for the ball? This is just excuses. This is Chelsea fan playing the victim card here. But I'm talking about consistency, all right? And I would say the Fulham one, the Fulham goal, probably should have been a goal. But I can see why it might have been given as a foul. With this one, I think that this is offside. I think Outcry comes from an offside position. There's no denying it. It doesn't matter who you support. He's offside there. He absolutely is offside in that position on the pitch. The Chelsea defender should do a lot better here, in this section right here. These 4 players, how that ball has managed to get there in the first place is baffling. But Christopher Aguerd is a big boy. He wins the header, and inevitably then, you can say Garnacho could have completed the track back. But it's the consistency of the decisions that I have a problem with. And I also have a big issue with the reporting on this. Because no one's talking about how Chelsea might be hard done by now. It's all well and good when Chelsea get a decision in their favour, but when it goes the other way, I know that people are going to come at me for this as well, but it's just the truth. We do not receive the same amount of, well, maybe, Chelsea should have had an extra 2 points here because it's offside. It fundamentally is offside. Utara is impacting the play and the goal shouldn't have stood. I just want to see consistency. Refereeing consistency kind of accepted now that they don't know what the rules are. They don't know what they're doing and they crumble under pressure. But I do want to see the reporting in the media the same. All right. If we're going to go on about Josh King for 2.5 weeks, Fulham obviously made it the goal of the month and all of that stuff. This impacts Chelsea. This is kind of like credit in the bank for teams that are playing against Chelsea. Because of the uproar, referees might not want to be on the receiving end of favouring Chelsea again. But we're talking about the rules of the game here. Something that they're there for a reason, right? If we can break the rules and everything in life, what's the point in having them in the first place? So just wanted to clear that one up here. And I know it seems a bit rambly. It seems a bit ranty. But as a Chelsea fan, there's a couple of tens of thousands of people that watch these videos. I think it needs to be addressed. Chelsea do not get the same media attention when something goes against us. It just purely doesn't happen. However, if we bring all of this back up again, right, I just find it absolutely crazy that Chelsea get even in this position in the first place when you've got 4 players there. Now, a lot of people have said questions need to be asked about the quality of the defending at Chelsea. There's a lot of people that as a result of the result away at Brentford have said, well, we need to strip back our expectations now for the season. Were we ever really in a title race? I'm going to say what I said at the start. Chelsea should be looking to compete for the title this season. I have not necessarily been blown away by any team in the Premier League as of right now. Liverpool have shown an incredible resolve. To win 4 matches in a row is a great feat. And to score late goals 4 times in a row is the sign of champions. And I said it at the start of the season. I'll say it again now. I think Liverpool are probably the best equipped team to win the league this season. Arsenal, they look really good too. But am I really convinced right now that they're going to be able to convert a lot of the draws we saw last season into wins consistently? Not entirely. Chelsea, 8 points from the first 4 games. Spurs look good. Bournemouth are looking good too. Chelsea aren't out of it. It's too soon to say that. And yes, we haven't played any one of the big 6 traditionally yet. And we got Man United at the weekend, but they are certainly not one of the best 6 teams in the Premier League, okay? Crystal Palace are unbeaten. We drew with them. This Brentford game was about Enzo Maresca experimenting a little bit. And what I learned from this specifically, which maybe I didn't cover this as much in 6 things we learned as I would have liked to, which is why I wanted to talk about it today, is there's clearly a lot of players that maybe aren't ready right now to actually be the quality and depth that we might perceive it as, okay? I don't think Jamie Gittins right now is ready to be starting games in the Premier League. Not to say that I think he's finished. There's a big difference here. And I think that is something that is very hard in football right now, is for people to actually understand that 2 things can coexist at the same time. If I'm saying that Gittins isn't ready to start for Chelsea right now, doesn't mean that I don't think he's a good footballer. I still think he's a good player, but it obviously takes time for Bundesliga players to come in and transition to the Premier League. Same with Florian Wirtz. Flashes of greatness in moments for Liverpool, but it's not exactly what we saw of Florian Wirtz at Bayer Leverkusen. The same here goes for Gittins. Don't think Gittins is as good of a footballer as Wirtz, period, but it's going to take him some time. There are certain players that just don't replace the brilliance of Marc Cucurella. I think that when Esteval has played this season, we've looked better with Esteval on the right and Neto on the left. Maybe that is the best combo that we have out on the wings right now. Facundo Buonanotte wasn't a bad debut, certainly wasn't great, and it certainly isn't Cole Palmer. So when it comes to the problem with Chelsea here, is maybe the depth isn't quite as good as we maybe think it is. Because the players that we've got that are the starters are top players. Cucurella, Caicedo, Palmer, João Pedro. You can't replace these guys in the team because there isn't 4 players as good as them who can step in and do the same roles. That is where we are at right now. So when Enzo Maresca made the decisions that he made going into this game, I think, yeah, okay, maybe start Hato, but I don't think you go and stick Fofana at right back or on the right side of that defence the same game. Too many changes. You either go and keep Reece James in there, which obviously he's got an eye on Bayern Munich and Man United for Reece moving forward this week, but play Gusto there. Play Achampong there. Play players there that actually are there. like how we could have started the game with Reece James, Gusto, and Achampong all on the bench. Wesley Fofana, who's hardly played football, I don't think that's the role that you give him. I think maybe Fofana should have been a bit more protected in that back line. We asked him to do too much, and lo and behold, Chelsea concede a counter-attacking goal because players are out of position. It's no surprise. So we can talk all we want about this moment here, but it was also the Kevin Schade goal, okay? Chelsea drew the match 2-2. We conceded twice. Both goals, I think you could see the flaws in the team. And again, I want to make it clear, I don't want to throw my toys out the pram here. There's no need to throw our toys out of the pram. People called me out for that comment as well. But it's like, well, okay, we drew with Brentford. Does it mean we're out of the title race? Absolutely not as of right now. Should we even have been talking about it in the first place? Why not? I don't understand why people would be like, oh yeah, but it's foolish to even think that Chelsea can compete for that in the first place. Why not? We just won a Club World Cup in the summer. We spent a couple of $100 million again. We've got rid of a lot of dead wood in the squad. It's unfortunate the injuries that we've got, but I think as we go, we can see that the team have got a resilience now. If we didn't concede that goal from that moment, this would have been a fantastic comeback win. Enzo Maresca saw early in the game that things didn't work, and he changed it, and I think that's great management, and maybe the mistake in the first place, whatever, but we can let it go because it's good management to see it, change it, and adapt with it. And that's what Enzo Maresca did. But I just wanted to make this video because it's easy to just go now straight ahead and look forward to Bayern Munich. Obviously, I'm buzzing for that. We're back in the Champions League. And yes, we didn't start Reece James, Malo Gusto, Cole Palmer for that match against Brentford. So they should all hopefully be fit and ready to go for the game in Munich on Wednesday. So Chelsea now, this is a huge week for us. Because the Brentford result has got a lot of people thinking, well, there we go. We're out of it now. I'm not saying that at all. And I wanted to say that today specifically in this one. But I also think we've got to, if we're going to make changes, then the players that missed out need to come in and make an immediate difference. Bayern Munich, I'll take a draw. We should be going there and hopefully trying to win. I think we can beat them. I think we actually could set up quite nicely against Bayern. Defensively, though, I am a little bit worried, and I think Maresca, at the minute, we might want to bring Fofana back in. But maybe it is just a good idea to keep things consistent. Wesley Fofana has been out of the squad for so long. I think we should go with what was working. I know that a lot of people have said, well, Tosin was never good enough because he had a poor game the other night. Maybe we should have bought a centre-back in the summer. Do you know what I mean? But all in all, this is a huge week. Man United was so bad against City yesterday. Chelsea have to go there and win this weekend. There's no excuses for me to go to Old Trafford this weekend and not win. But let's see what happens. I wanted to make this video today just to get this Brentford game out of the system. Talk about the things that certainly don't get talked about enough in the global, wider footballing media. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Come on, you Blues.